Hello, and thank you for joining me for another lovely yoga class on my channel, Living Healthy with Yelena. If we haven't met already, my name is Yelena, and on my channel we do things like yoga classes, as well as different videos on healthy living and mindfulness. Today we'll be exploring a theme related all to awakening to our true selves and self-love. Please join me in a seated meditation to begin class. Cross the legs, starting in Sukhasana, easy pose. Make sure to sit upright, aligning the spine vertically, pulling the crown of the head up towards the ceiling. The option to either bring the palms to the knees or maybe even placing the backs of the hands on the knees as well. Close the eyes and find stillness. I wanted to share with you a quote today. When I loved myself enough, I began leaving whatever wasn't healthy. This meant people, jobs, my own beliefs and habits, anything that kept me small. My judgment called it disloyal. Now I see it as self-loving. If it would be more comfortable for you to lay on your back, go ahead and do so. Just continue with your natural rhythm of breath. And I'd like you to explore the question of, how does your life feel? Are you at peace with your decisions, with your thoughts, and with the people that cross your threshold? Many of us so easily confuse self-love with being always available. We believe that loyalty and responsibility mean repeatedly putting someone or something else first. We want to be healthy and prosperous, but we hold on to things that weigh us down. We believe such life is normal. We think we have no other option. Now, as we take a step back from the busyness and gaze within, things just become simple. The world quiets down as we naturally reconnect with ourselves. It's difficult to find yourself in the midst of emotional roller coasters, toxicity, and learned behaviors. Break the inertia of always going in the direction of stimulus by returning to yourself. You don't need to change all your habits at once. Just internalize whatever is going on outside yourself and begin to witness what happens. Now, before we begin our practice, I'd like to set an intention with you. Allow yourself to be fully present with whatever you perceive in your space. Use your breath to connect with the higher power or spirit. And just notice how you start to grow from the inside out. Just take a couple moments here to set an intention of your choice for either this practice or the rest of your day. slowly begin making your way onto your back. Extend the legs long, palms fall by the sides. Maybe move the seat from side to side to release the flesh out from under the sit bones. Just find comfort. Take a few moments to settle in, letting go of the outside world. Quiet all thoughts and agendas. And begin to tune into your breath. Notice your belly rising and falling with each inhale and exhale. Allow your breath to usher you into a deeper relaxation. Breathe in peace. Breathe out tension. Allow the full weight of your body to sink into the mat as every muscle softens. Surrender all to the stillness and the quiet within this present moment. Take a few moments to just bask in the stillness of your own space. Take an inhale, sweep the arms all the way up overhead. And you can grab onto the left wrist with the right hand. And begin to put a bend to the upper portion of the body. So you want to bend to the right side like the upper half of a banana. Coming into supine side stretch. We have the option here to begin to bend the bottom portion in the same direction, taking the toes over towards the right. It may even feel extra nice to cross the left ankle over the right. Fill up with an inhale as you come back through center. Exhale, take it to the other side. Throughout our practice today, I may prompt and ask you some different questions just to awaken different parts of your body, mind, spirit complex, just to make you more aware of yourself. Inhale, coming back through center. Pull the thighs in towards the chest, wrap the arms around the shins, and gently roll side to side, massaging out the lower back. Come back through center, drop the soles of the feet down towards the mat, and allow the palms to also plant next to the sides. With the toes facing the long edge of the mat, we'll take a filling inhale, lift the seat up, hips press high, bridge pose. You may feel like this variation is enough, or if you'd like a little bit more, feel free to interlace the palms and the fingers underneath the seat. Or maybe even walk the heels back towards the sit bones and grab onto the ankles. And of course, knowing that these are just options, I am just your guide, and this is your practice. So whatever your body needs, take that. Release the exhale, lower back down to the mat. Place the soles of the feet down and shift the hips in the seat slightly over to the left. Drop the knees over to the right, open the arms to a big T, and allow the head to turn over to the left. A supine spinal twist here. Slowly warming up our spine, aiding in that natural detoxification process. Inhale back through center. Plant the soles of the feet down once again. We're going to neutralize the spine. So shift the hips back through center. Then we can go ahead and shift them all the way over to the right. Drop the knees down to the left. And take the gaze over the right. Shifting everything in the opposite direction. Bring the knees back up through center. Go ahead and neutralize the spine. Bring the hips back to your center point. Hug the knees back into the chest and begin to roll vertically this time, up and down the spine, maybe 2 or 3 times as you gain momentum enough to roll forward into tabletop pose. Palms fall directly underneath the shoulders, knees beneath the hips. As we further warm up the spine, taking a couple cat-cows here. So take an inhale, lift up through the chin, tailbone lifts as well. So feel the chest broaden, the scapulas hug back together. Exhale, arch and round the spine, chin tucks to chest. Pull the tailbone down. Just taking a couple of these on your own. This is where we want to begin focusing, combining breath with movement. And as you do this, you may want to just witness what's going on internally, what's going on with your inner dialogue. And if the thoughts are quite dense, quite heavy, and frequent, you may notice this start to dissipate and lighten as the practice continues. Feel free to add in any of your own organic movements, maybe rocking the hips from side to side, shaking out the head, yes or no. Maybe making some circles with the hips. Just finding your own expression of this pose. Bring it back through a neutral spine. Exhale, curl the toes under. Lift the hips up and back. Shifting into our first downward dog of the practice today. Creating that inverted V shape. Palms are planted down firmly into the ground. We may want to grip with the fingertips. Not planting so much weight into the center palm. Working to pedal out the feet, pressing one heel down, bending the opposite knee. And switching sides, feeling it all along the hamstrings. Take an inhale, rise onto the tiptoes. Look forward between the hands. Exhale, bend the knees. And then this time, just slowly walk the feet up to the hands. Make sure that the feet are about hips distance apart. Maybe about 2 fists in between your feet is the perfect length. Grabbing onto opposite elbows, just allowing the spine to decompress. And possibly inviting a gentle sway from side to side. Now, as we gently observe our thoughts throughout this class, knowing that there's no bad thought, there's nothing bad in it. Just maybe knowing that there might be messages that lie within them. And also working to bring our mind back to the present moment. And they might get intense. Release the elbows. Take an inhale, slowly roll all the way up, one vertebrae at a time, to standing. Arms sweep out to the sides, all the way up to the sky. Exhale, palms lower to heart center. Just taking a brief moment here, noticing any subtle nuances or changes that we've already made in the body, in the mind. Inhale, sweep the arms all the way back up. Bend the right elbow, bring the right hand behind the head. Take the left hand, grab onto the right elbow. So we're creating this nice bind. Take a side stretch over to the left, feeling it all along the right side body. Keeping the tailbone nice and tucked under. Toning the lower belly, taking a couple breaths right here. Inhale back through center. Release the bind and switch sides. So this time left arm bends at the elbow and right hand grabs on. Side stretch on the exhale over to the left. Inhale, rise. Back through center, arms release back up towards the sky. Exhale, dive it forward towards the knees. Bringing the fingertips either onto the shins or fingertips touch the floor. Take an inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the palms down onto the mat and step it back into high plank. First high plank of the practice here. Press the mat away. Making sure that the hips don't dip. Begin to shift it forward. You have the option to lower down into Chaturanga Dandasana by bending the elbows, which are facing the back of the mat, nice and close to the rib cage, or you may drop the knees. Take an inhale, roll to the tops of the feet, pressing up into upward facing dog. Chest broadens, shoulder blades hug together. Exhale, curl the toes under. Hips lift up and back, returning to downward facing dog. From here, step the right foot through between the hands, trying not to drag the toes if at all possible. Pivot the back foot flat to a 45-degree angle. Inhale, sweep the arms up towards the sky, Warrior 1, Virabhadrasana 1. Pull the right hip crease back, left hip presses forward. Just little subtle changes in our alignment can make the biggest difference here. Notice how that feels. Bring the palms together overhead. Exhale. Slowly lower them to heart center as you pivot the back foot out. So now the back foot becomes parallel to the back of the mat and perpendicular to your front foot. Begin to shift the torso to the long edge of the mat so that it's square to the front. Open the arms to a T. Take the gaze off the right fingertips. Warrior 2, Virabhadrasana 2. Pull the tailbone down towards the floor, hips press forward, and see if there's any space to deepen into the front lunge, just a bit further. Spine remains straight. Inhale, straighten the front leg. Exhale, extend the right arm out and down to the ankle or shin or the floor, wherever placement works best for you. Take an inhale, left arm reaches up towards the sky. Take the gaze up towards the fingertips. Triangle pose. Utthita Trikonasana. A couple more subtle adjustments here. Begin to roll the right shoulder back so that you open up the chest, and you can even imagine the upper body wedged in between two panes of glass. Lift up through the left fingertips, trying not to dump enough weight into that right hand, feeling a little bit lighter. Tone the lower belly. Exhale, drop the left palm down and begin to square the hips once again to the wide edge of the mat. Both toes facing forward here. You can shift forward a bit. Lift that left leg up off the mat. Inhale, right arm lifts as well. Revolved half moon. This is a great strengthening pose as well as balance. Those left toes should be facing down towards the mat. Breathe. Notice the quality of the breath now that we've added in quite a bit of movement here, and see where you might be able to make subtle improvements. Exhale, drop the right palm down, step that left foot all the way to the back of the mat and meet it with the right foot. Returning back to high plank, you can take a variation of your choice. Either shift all the way back into downward facing dog if you'd like to skip the chaturanga altogether. But if you'd like to take it, either drop the knees or shift it forward on the inhale and lower, beginning to bend the elbows. Making sure that you don't drop the chest lower than the elbows. Take an inhale, roll to the tops of the feet. Press it up into upward facing dog. Feel the back bend. Lumbar spine activation. Exhale, curl the toes under. Hips lift up and back, downward facing dog. Getting ready to explore this other side. Step that left foot through between the hands. Make the adjustment, pivoting the back foot flat to 45 degrees. Once you're stable in your footing, inhale, sweep the arms high, Virabhadrasana 1. Just another gentle reminder to pull back at the left hip crease and push the right forward. And the torso and the hips square towards the front of the mat. Remaining steady with the breath. Exhale, bring the palms to touch and lower them down to heart center. Open the arms to a T, square the torso towards the long edge of the mat, and pivot the back foot out just a bit further. Warrior 2, take the gaze off the left fingertips. What changes can we make here to get the most and best expression out of the pose? Inhale, begin to straighten the left leg. Exhale, extend that left arm out and down to the ankle, shin or floor. Inhale, right arm reaches high. Gaze follows. Breathing into it. Have any more thoughts crept in? Sometimes during our practice, our mind tends to try and self-sabotage, tries and gets us to quit. See if we're able to reel it in and gain control over the mind, not vice versa. Drop the right fingertips down to the mat, both toes facing forward. Option to shorten the stance a bit here if desired. Inhale, revolved half moon. So this time the right foot lifts up as the left fingertips rise high and that upper portion of the body twist to the left. Foot flexed. We do have the option to keep the right foot down, taking revolved triangle if you'd like. There are always modifications that can be made. Once again, this is your practice. I'm just a guide.
Check it.
Exhale, lower that left palm down and begin to slowly step the right foot all the way back into a runner's lunge. Step the left foot back to meet it, high plank. Variation of your choice, either press straight back to down dog or begin to take your chaturanga. Bend the elbows, lower down into the push-up. Inhale, roll up into upward facing dog. Scapulas hug together, chest broadens. Exhale, curl the toes under. Hips lift up and back. Downward facing dog. Let's just take a couple moments here to see where we're at. What changes do you notice in the body, in the mind, as you take 2 more deep breaths here? It's always more important to ask the questions than to just know the answer. The answers show up for you at just the right time. So be open. Take an inhale, rise onto the tiptoes. Look forward between the hands, bend the knees. and either walk, step, or hop the feet up towards the hands. Take an inhale, rise up, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Bend the knees, drop the seat back, Utkatasana chair pose. Inhale, reach the arms up overhead. Big toes touch, heels splay out slightly. Pull the tailbone down towards the mat. Use the breath here. Take an inhale, and on the exhale, dive it forward towards the knees. Give the legs a little shake. Take an inhale, another halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Palms to the shins. Exhale, plant the palms down towards the mat. Step it back, high plank. Taking whichever variation you choose here. Lowering down into the push-up if that's the choice. Inhale, roll to the tops of the feet, upward facing dog. Exhale, down dog. Hug the right knee in towards the third eye or the chest. Pressing the mat away, putting just a slight arch in the back, coming light onto the left toe. Beautiful. Go ahead and step that right foot through between the hands. Take an inhale, right arm reaches high, lunging twist. Roll the right shoulder back. Opening up the chest. As you lower the right hand on the exhale, begin to take a nice yoga walk towards the long edge of the mat. So with the legs wide in a straddle, you walk the fingers all the way to the center of the legs. So we're in a wide leg straddle. Take an inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Begin to walk the hands between the legs all the way towards the back. Maybe even placing the tops of the hands down on the mat, bringing the crown of the head closer down towards the floor. Take an inhale, walk the hands back towards the center. Inhale, once again, halfway lift. Bend the knees as the toes begin to face outwards. And sweep the arms up to cactus arms, like two big goalposts, two 90-degree angles. Spiral the pinkies inwards. Good, coming into what's called goddess squat. And transitioning to straddle pose, bring the palms to heart center. As we sit back a little bit further, almost as if you're sitting back into a chair. Reach the arms, both of them, out in front of you. Grab onto opposite elbows. Inhale, sitting upright, maintaining that squat. Bringing both elbows up above over the head. Getting a nice shoulder stretch here as well. Inhale, reach the arms all the way up. Good. Once again, exhale, lower the palms to heart center. I'm going to take this variation 2 more times, maintaining that squat. Reach the arms forward. Grabbing onto opposite elbows. Inhale, arms reach up overhead. Still maintaining that bind. And then stretch and reach the arms up overhead. Once again, lower palms to heart center. Reach the arms forward. Grabbing onto opposite elbows. Inhale. Rise it up. Feel the stretch and extend the arms all the way back up overhead. Good work. Exhale, dive it forward. The toes will turn inwards once again. Taking a wide-legged twist here. Walk the left hand over towards the right ankle. Put a slight micro bend in the left knee. Inhale, right arm reaches up towards the sky. Gaze follows. Exhale, lower the right palm down. Keep those fingertips out in front of you, but begin to lunge into the left knee. Taking a side squat. Feel free to keep the fingertips down on the mat, maybe even pulsing a bit into the left leg. Feeling the burn, possibly feeling the vibration, that shaking sensation. Just a couple more moments. Really try and amp the breath up here if you may have lost it. Inhale, shift it back forward, coming into runner's lunge, right foot forward. And step it back to high plank once again. Either pressing back here straight into downward facing dog or taking a chaturanga. Take an inhale, shift it forward, bend the elbows, lowering down into the push-up. Take an inhale, roll to the tops of the feet, upward facing dog. Exhale, curl the toes under, hips lift up and back. Preparing ourselves to take this variation on the other side. Take an inhale, hug the left knee in towards the third eye, towards the chest. Pressing the mat away, arching through the back, light on the right toe. And then step that left foot through between the hands, runner's lunge. Keep the right palm all the way down to the mat. Inhale, left arm reaches high, back to lunging twist. Making that minor adjustment, rolling the left shoulder back, opening up the chest, really reaching through the fingertips. Exhale, slowly lower the left palm down as you take that nice little yoga walk towards the center of the legs. Keeping the legs wide, feet should be parallel, toes slightly facing inward if possible. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, fold it in. This time, bringing the hands to the hips. And as you fold inward, hugging the elbows together behind the back. And same as before, pulling the crown of the head down towards the mat. Just noticing the difference in variations, what they do for the body. Maybe notice or acknowledge any inner resistance that might be coming up in the form of anxiety, negative self-talk, or sensations that could be rising up. Take an inhale, release the palms back down to the mat as you halfway lift. Bend the knees, returning once again to goddess squat, toes face outward. Arms back up to our cactus goalposts. Good. Seeing if you can squat back, sitting back just a bit further into that imaginary chair. You can stay right here, or I'll introduce a different variation than we took before. Take an inhale, lift the right heel up off the mat. So we'll be balancing on the ball of the right foot. Breathe into it. Exhale, lower the right heel back down. Halfway through, switching sides, take an inhale, left heel lifts. Activate that lower belly. Maintain your upright seat. Breathe. Inhaling through the nose and back out on the exhale. Honoring any shakes or trembling, and knowing the positive difference we're making in the body. You've got this. Exhale, lower the left heel down, sit just a little bit deeper into your squat. You don't have much longer to go, so try and hold on with me here for 5, 4, 3, just a bit lower, 2, and 1. Fold it forward as you rotate the toes slightly inward. Coming back to that wide leg straddle fold. Good work. Should be feeling a little bit of a relief here. Taking our twist, so begin to walk the right hand over towards the left leg this time, grabbing onto the ankle or maybe keeping the fingertips down on the mat. Slight micro bend in the right knee. Inhale, left arm reaches high, gaze follows. Wringing and rinsing, cleansing and detoxifying the spine. Exhale, left palm drops back down. And finally, taking the side squat. Shifting into the right leg this time. Right knee bends. Feel free to keep the fingertips out in front of you. And pulsating just a bit into that right leg, or you may maintain stillness. Just as if you're sitting back into a chair here too. Just a little bit of a different, more awkward type of chair. Breathe. Feeling the burn, feeling the shaking, trembling. honoring exactly where you're at. So if the legs are beginning to get tired, knowing that that's completely okay, just a couple more breaths right here. Inhale, shifting back towards the front of the mat into that left knee, coming back to runner's lunge. Good, making your way back to high plank, and once again, your choice of whatever variation you would like here. Chaturanga or down dog. If you're with me on the chaturanga, let's shift it forward on the inhale, bend the elbows, lower down towards the mat. Inhale, upward facing dog, rolling to the tops of the feet, pausing just for a brief moment here to get that nice back bend in the lumbar spine. Exhale, curl the toes under. Hips lift up and back, downward facing dog. Once again, taking a moment here, just a couple breaths. Maybe even taking a big filling inhale through the nose, opening the mouth and letting go. Releasing any tension or stress. Let's take another one of those breaths. Big filling inhale through the nose. Open the mouth and sigh it out, noticing how good that feels. Just a little bit left to go here. Take an inhale, rise onto the tiptoes, look forward, bend the knees, walk or hop the feet towards the front of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Take an inhale, rise to standing, sweeping the arms out to the sides, all the way up towards the sky, and on the exhale, lowering the palms to heart center. Bring the hands to the hips and begin to lift the right knee up off the mat. Foot flexed, creating this nice little tabletop out in front of you. This is known as majorette. Reach both arms out in front of you. Coming into our eagle arm, bind, wrap the right arm underneath the left and spiral it up. Lift the arms up a bit to get the full activation. If you'd like to stay right here, please do so. And if you'd like to take it just a bit further, we can wrap the legs into eagle wrap as well. Cross the right ankle all the way around the left shin and knee. And sit back just like we've done throughout this class into our imaginary chair. If you get the wobbles and you tend to fall out of it, no worries here. Just try and have fun with it and take whatever variation suits you in this moment. Bring yourself back to the breath. This is another point to do a good little check-in and see where the quality of your breathing is, the quality of your thoughts. Where are we at with that inner dialogue? Release the bind of the arms and the legs. Begin to swing the right leg back behind you. Fingertips reach the mat, standing split. Keeping that right foot flexed, toes pointed down towards the mat. The heel lifts up towards the sky as we bring the forehead as close as possible towards the left knee. Good. See if you can lift that right heel up just a bit further. Really intentional with this pose. Squaring the hips down towards the mat. And step that right foot all the way to the back. Left foot meets it, returning to high plank. And once again, whichever variation suits you best. So if you're with me, take an inhale, shift it forward. Bend the elbows, half push up. Inhale, roll to the tops of the feet, pressing up into upward facing dog. Exhale, curl the toes under, down dog. Take an inhale, rise onto the tiptoes, look forward, bend the knees, walk or hop the feet up towards the hands. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift. Exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, stand tall, arms reach high. Exhale, lower the palms to heart center. You can immediately bring the hands to the hips. Left knee lifts up, majorette, foot flexed. Reach the arms forward, taking that eagle wrap first with the arms. Left arm this time wraps underneath the right. Spiral it up. Inhale, lift it up a bit higher, feeling that activation along the scapulas. Beautiful, wrapping that left leg around the right. And lowering back into that invisible chair. Taking a couple moments, a couple rounds of breath right here. Does this pose seem completely out of your grasp? Maybe noticing that you could be holding on to limiting beliefs about what you can do, what you can achieve. Just one more moment. And release the bind. Beautiful work. Begin to swing the left leg back behind you, just like a pendulum as the fingertips lower down towards the mat, keeping the hips square towards the front, left foot flexed, forehead towards the right knee, standing split. Last little push here, lifting through the left heel just a bit further. Seeing if there's any more room to elevate that. And slowly but surely stepping the left foot all the way to the back of the mat, returning to runner's lunge. And then shifting back to high plank. Taking our final vinyasa here, or just press it right back to downward facing dog. Beautiful. Lower the knees down to the mat. Keeping the knees together, feet together, drop the seat back towards the heels. Bring the palms on top of the thighs, coming into hero's pose. Taking just a couple moments right here, close the eyes. I invite you, if you'd like, to bring one hand to the heart, one hand to the belly. While in hero's pose, silently or verbally repeat the following affirmative statements after me. Self-love depends on me being loyal to myself to feel what I need to feel and heal. Good. I frequently take a step back from busyness to look within and to make sure that I'm really okay. And finally, I witness how my inner self responds to outside circumstances without getting caught up in the drama of all of it. Beautiful work. Shifting back forward into tabletop. Getting into the hips a bit here as we begin to slow down our practice. Cross that right knee behind the left. So the feet will be wide as the knees cross. Drop the seat in between the heels. Coming into cow face pose. So knee will be over knee in the front. And you can feel free to grab onto the ankles, but let's make sure to flex the feet. That will help us to stay in the pose a bit better. I invite you to stay right where you are. This can be quite intense. But if you'd like to take the bind, we can go ahead and do so here. Reach the right arm all the way up towards the sky. Bend at the right elbow. Drop that hand behind the back, just like the bind we took at the beginning of our practice. And to take it a bit further, bring the left arm behind the back. We can work to try and touch fingertips to fingertips, maybe even clasping onto hands, or maybe even just grabbing onto the shirt. Whatever's available. Option to take it a bit further. Inhale, gaze up. Exhale, folding forward over knees. Breathe. Notice maybe any deep-rooted emotions or anything that could possibly be coming up for you. We do store a lot of trauma and emotions inside of our hip region. Inhale, rising back up. Release the hands from the bind. Give the arms just a little bit of a shake here. That can be quite an intense arm stretch there. And roll it forward back into tabletop. So you can release the crossing of the knees. If you need to move the hips from side to side or take a couple cat-cows here, shake out the legs. Taking this on the other side, begin to cross that left knee behind the right. Keeping the heels wide, begin to drop the seat in between them. Knee over knee. Good. So you might stay right here. Make sure to flex the feet, possibly just grabbing onto the ankles. Or moving into the bind. This time, left arm reaches high. Put a bend to the left elbow. Bring the left hand behind the head. And right hand comes behind the back. Taking whatever expression of this bind is available to you. And this may be enough. But if not, take an inhale, gaze up. Exhale, fold the chest forward towards the knees and breathe. Acknowledging the intensity, shining our awareness on it, seeing if we can detach from any feelings of intensity that may be trying to take us over. Asking ourselves, what do we need to heal, to gain greater balance, to maybe honor ourselves more, to live our truth, to be at peace, to learn. Inhale, slowly rise back up. Release the arm bind, give the arms a nice little shake. Slowly rolling forward, back into our cross-leg variation of tabletop, releasing the cross of the knees and whatever we need here. A couple cat-cows, moving the hips from side to side. Shift the weight into the left or right hip. Swing the legs all the way around towards the front of the mat. Hug the knees into the chest and slowly lower down onto your back, one vertebrae at a time. Keeping the soles of the feet down, palms by the sides. Take an inhale, lift the hips in the seat up, bridge pose. This time, sweep the arms up overhead, chin tucks to chest. Just a different variation here than when we first began our practice. Exhale, lower back down. Allow the palms to come back down towards the sides. Hug knees into chest. Bring the forehead towards them. You can keep the arms wrapped around the shins. Lower the head back down towards the mat. Rocking just a bit from side to side. Go ahead and lower the soles of the feet down onto the mat. Shift the hips slightly over towards the left. Drop the knees to the right. Once again, opening the arms to a big T. Another familiar stretch here, just a different variation. Extend the legs all the way out towards the right. You might get the deepest and best expression of the pose here by crossing the left ankle over the right. Take the gaze to the left. Uncross the ankle, bend the knees, and come back through center on the inhale. Plant the soles of the feet down, neutralize the hips, and then shift the hips over towards the right. Drop the knees over to the left. Extend the legs long. This time, right ankle crosses over left. Take the gaze to the right. Once again, uncrossing the ankles, bending the knees. Inhale, rise back through center. Extend the legs long, arms reach up overhead. Take a full body stretch. And allow the legs to widen, heels towards the corners of the mat. Palms come by the sides, facing up towards the ceiling. Preparing for rest. Entering into Shavasana can also symbolize the death and burial of the self or the ego. This is the part of us that wants to be in control and often struggles with surrendering to the present moment. Our time of Shavasana can also resemble a sort of letting go of what no longer serves us, leaving old ways behind, embracing something new, and then rising into the newness of life. What can you choose to let go of today? Take rest. Bringing awareness back to the body by deepening the breath. Maybe moving the tongue across the backs of the teeth. Gently moving the thumbs across the fingers. Rolling out the ankles, the wrists. Bring both feet into your chest. Roll over onto your left side, coming into a fetal position. With your eyes closed, use your top hand to push yourself up to a seated position. Bring both hands to heart center. And I invite you to bow your head in gratitude. As you rise from this practice with a new sense of freedom and well-being, leaving the old ways, habits, and destructive mindsets behind, rising up and being free from worry, negativity, and fear. Leave these things be buried into the ground where they can be absorbed and neutralized within the earth. The light in me honors and bows to the light and divinity within you. Namaste. Thank you so very much for sharing this practice with me. If you benefited from this, please don't forget to tap the like button below. I would love for you to leave me a comment and let me know what your biggest takeaway was from this practice. But as always, I cannot wait to see you in the next video. Peace and namaste.